Oh no. Where's my other vape?
You know what? No one ever lost their cigarettes like people lose their vapes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, I have been cigarettes have been in my life since I was at least 12 years old. And I do not remember there being, I mean, lighters, sure. You lose a lighter, that's a thing. But and I'll tell you, you vape people. Oh, you can't even hear me. You're not even listening. You're just walking around looking for a vape. That's what you're fucking doing. Were you looking around for a vape?
Yeah. Found my cigarettes though.
So a weed vape, a nicotine vape, and cigarettes. Girl, you are on. What are you racing to? What is the
An early grave trying to beat global warming.
I know. I hope I'm good and dead before it gets rough.
I hope my parents are at least. You know what I mean? Just I don't want to have to.
Why do they get to fucking have the luxury of being out of the fucking scene?
Well, I don't want to have that, like, I have to make a choice between my dog and my elderly mom.
That means that would
Sorry,
be a struggle.
Mom. I've got a couple of good years left.
Well, I thought I had the opener, but now I think your mom needs to hear that. So
no, I'm not going to let that happen.
She will veto. She will veto.
I shall veto.
Whoa,
bro.
It's this fucking watch. Well, I mean, I'm ready when you're ready, sir.
Yeah, let me think. Do I have an opener?
Yeah, think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you sure?
Always.
All right. Don't get cocky. You know what I mean? No one likes a cocky short person.
That's why we have to take over the
world. It just comes off a different way. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. I'm going to give you 4, 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gay Power Half Hour, the only gay podcast on the internet with two gay hosts who are just like an indictment of a former president because we're not that normal. Casey Lai.
Hi, and I am also not normal. Tony Soto. So nice to be back. So nice to see everybody.
Here we are back again in some crazy times. It's really been crazy times. It's been crazy times.
It's the big news. It's the big news. Like, first of all, like, you know, over the weekend, Trump truthed on his Truth Social that he was going to be indicted on Tuesday of this week. Now, we record on Wednesday, and he is yet to be indicted because he was the only one saying those words. Like, even his lawyers were like, we don't anticipate an indictment. Like, we don't, but we're getting closer to one.
It does feel like the handcuffs are jangling. The noose is tightening. I wish. And we are heading towards some sort of major confrontation with former president, current biggest piece of shit in the world, Donald Trump. Yeah. I mean, he does love to get ahead of a story, doesn't he? Like, he did tell us, like, he's the one who told us that the FBI was at Mar-a-Lago before anyone knew that was happening. And now the feds are coming for him again. Yet again.
like remember back in the day when social media first started, and like the people that would comment the word first at the beginning of every person's post because like you wanted to be the first one to comment.
Sure.
That's definitely Trump. Like, Trump wants to be the first one. He wants to be the one who breaks the story, whether it be a lie or not. And here's the thing, like, he's in trouble for a few things. Obviously, we have Stormy Daniels' situation with the payoff and whether or not that was campaign funds or not.
Queen Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, Queen Stormy Daniels. And right now, Georgia with the election fraud thing is wrapping up as well. He still has something in Arizona, I believe. But like, instead of like talking about on the media, talking about like the specific reasons, because outside of the Stormy Daniel thing, like, they're not really, they're talking about Georgia. They're saying fucking voter fraud, but they're not really getting into the meats and potatoes. What they're talking about now is, will there be a perp walk? Will they fucking cuff him? Will we see that? And it's like, first of all, I don't give a shit whether or not, would it look great? Sure. But would it look great for him? Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. You know, I mean,
do you want him in handcuffs? Do you want to?
I want him in I absolutely want him in handcuffs. I want him in handcuffs from the minute that from the perp walk starts until the gallows. Because he is a traitor. Let's be real. He also
he is a traitor.
Colluded with Russia. He's done many things where he deserves the death penalty. And I'm just saying this. I'm not saying this from a mob. I'm saying it from, and I'm not even pro death penalty. I'm just saying by the law, Donald Trump should be executed on TV for all of us to see. Front row tickets to that. How do you get that seat? Yeah, and also not to mention the fact that the latest breaking news is that he misled his own lawyers in the classified documents case. Yeah. So like it's just one thing after the other. And he's going to turn it into a circus. And so the more circus has always benefited him, but the circus has never been him in handcuffs. And I do think that what he thinks, he knows he broke the law, I mean, there's no doubt about that because he did. But what he thinks is that he can continue to get away with these things, just like he got away with the January 6th trying to overthrow the government by causing more chaos. I thought the most interesting article that I read in all this was one article that said people who would normally be his protesters are feeling like the call of protest is a trap because fucking hundreds of people went to jail on January 6th.
Yeah, well, that's good. I hope that they're gun shy about that kind of shit because when Trumpy calls, handcuffies go on ignorant people. So, I think like it's like, sorry, there's an emergency. I think that when it comes down to it, and what makes this so wild and like the country that we live in is like, Stormy Daniels will probably be the reason or the first reason that he's punished at all in any way criminally. Yeah. And he incited an insurrection. You know what I mean? It's like paying off a sex worker is what did it. The insurrection, the jury's still out. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but it's like the only way they ever were capable of bringing down mob bosses back in the day wasn't for the murders. It was for
Capone went down for taxes.
Yeah, for taxes and shit like that, and Clinton didn't get in trouble for Whitewater and all the stuff they were trying to pin on him. It was the girl that he stuck a thing into, and so it often is the when you're a criminal, and I'll take Clinton out of this because they are just rapist. But when you're like an actual, like
also a crime,
lifelong criminal, right? Well, statute of limitations. Also a crime. I don't want to be flip about it any more than I already was. But when you're a lifelong criminal, something is going to catch up with you sometime, especially when you are. I mean, I almost have a begrudging respect for Donald Trump for just being the worst person in the world for decades. He's really like unapologetically, and like he's like, I'll do it until I can't get away with it anymore. And finally, I think he might have run up to this. All of this chatter of like, is this good or bad for him? It's bad. It's an indictment. It's one of several indictments that are going to come down onto him during a campaign season. And yeah, the other side is his supporters are going to support him no matter what. But there's, I don't want to call it the middle because they're not like middle, but there are people who are sick of this fucking chaos. He's lost twice. And it will happen again. And so, like let them say, bring it on. Yeah, because we've seen, he keeps losing.
I feel like because of Queen Stormy Daniels, who even with a shitty fucking lawyer at the time, stuck to her guns, knew that she wasn't lying. But the media, I think, is being unfair to her because everything you hear now is porn star Stormy Daniels. Like, when do we change it to activist Stormy Daniels? Or, because,
well, that wouldn't help either, because activists will then, but yeah, I mean,
Antifa.
Honestly, I mean, she knows who she is, and she's not ashamed of who she is,
Right.
And I think, and she is a porn star. I mean, like, she honestly, that's one of the things. It's like, it's
but
not like she was
hit it in a certain way.
I agree.
I mean?
No. I agree. I agree 100%. And we do love to shame the ones that we need the most.
With boobs.
Yeah, especially the ones with boobs.
Yeah.
But I just mean legit porn star. And there are millions of porn actors out there. Stormy was a porn star. Okay, she was a known quantity. She was for Wicked. That's the Jenna Jameson biz. She was Contract. Okay, she's legit star. Okay, and she will go down as
business, by the way.
And I'm sorry, but if you want to go down, if you want to be the best, be the best. And she's going down as the most famous porn star in the world. Move over, Jenna Jameson.
But speaking of having to be the best. And who isn't the best is, just the Republican Party and their potential for candidates to go against Biden in the election. DeSantis has been out and about a little bit more.
Tiptoeing around in her.
Are they regretting it? Do you think at this point? I mean, everyone is saying that he doesn't know how to do anything off script. He doesn't field questions. And when he does field questions, he gets very angry and hostile. Like he can't get past this whole woke Florida, free Florida. They're already saying that his messaging will work for Florida because they're all dumb, but it won't resonate on a national stage because it's just so anti everything. What are your thoughts on DeSantis and his little rise?
I think I don't want to be optimistic about a fascist gaining any sort of power anywhere, especially in this country where we've seen it's especially running against an 80-year-old man who I am a little worried about his shakiness in the long term. But I keep saying this, the things he is choosing to make his national name on are not going to help him get elected. They are scary and they are bad for us, but they are ultimately losing it's a losing national platform. I 100% believe that. The other thing is he's a loser. He's just a loser dude. And so everyone's like, oh, Trump fucked a porn star and lied about it. They love that. The Republicans love that shit. They love that he's a fucking weirdo freak who tries to ban abortion. They don't fucking give a fuck. DeSantis is like, I don't know nothing about porn stars. And then what a dweeb. What a pudding, two-finger pudding eating dweeb. He eats pussy like he eats pudding, like rushed with two fingers, and it's like that, no, he's not exciting. And the more we see that,
I think
he's just a douche. They like the douche factor. But they don't. Go ahead. Yes.
No. I just think it's someone. It's like. Remember when they had the hurricanes and he was out in spotless, clean white galoshes that went up to his fucking knees?
Yes.
It's like when Chris Christie wore the baseball outfit out of the ball. It's like you guys, okay, you have an agenda that is crooked and wrong and bad. And you don't even know how to try to even relate to the most basic of the normal people around the world. You know what I mean?
Get Ron DeSantis on the ground with a bunch of yokels in the middle of the country, and they're going to be like, who's this a fake nerd who's trying to fucking relate with us. He's not a relatable politician. They love Trump. I actually think Chris Christie is their best bet. I hate to say that. But minus,
you think he'd
Trump,
do it again?
Yes, because of course once they get a taste of power, they always want more. And I think that he's an asshole, but he's not a square.
It won't be Nikki either, and he knows politics. Like that's
and he knows politics. And and the thing is, and I was thinking, it's like, what do Biden, Trump, Obama, W, and Bill all have in common? They're cool. They were the cool guys.
Well, liberals are cool. Like
no, not all liberals are cool.
Well, look at it too. I mean, like even Jimmy Carter, and he was underappreciated at that time. But you know, there's a lot of talk about how they wanted him out because it wasn't the agenda they wanted the world to go or the country to go in at the time. But then he did humanity, like he was building houses until he was 145 years old. Like that's cool. Like,
yeah, but he wasn't that cool. He's kind of a religious square. He's not, you know, he's nice. And but the thing is, the country was so.
Don't make me defend the religious. All right.
No, but I mean this. It's like, you know, Nixon was so bad and Nixon was so square, you know, and JFK was so cool. They killed him.
Conservatives are evil. Like that's the thing. Conservatives give off an evil vibe because they want to take things away. Like, you know, they just released the House just released their budget. Like everything, like the fact that they want to cut from every fucking thing they said they weren't cutting from. I mean, they're all just liars. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I feel like yeah, liberals are cool. Even the uncool ones have a fucking.
But my point on all of that is that like we do elect. When it comes, because as it's increasingly become the TV and like digital and like media age, you know, increasingly we're even beyond it now. Like we go off who's the one who we think is the fucking college frat president or whatever, you know, the one who can just fucking like, I don't know, like what it is about America. Maybe it's our, you know, gross misogyny.
What was that whole thing? Was it Obama with the beer? Like I'd have a beer with a, was it?
Well, yeah, it was Bush. It was Bush. He doesn't even drink. He would rather have a beer with him than Al Gore. Al Gore was not cool. That is why he lost, you know, like McCain was, you know, was a doof, you know.
No, but there was a specific beer summit. I remember like.
Yeah, that was the beer summit. That was when a white cop arrested Henry Louis Gates at his own house, right. And they had a beer summit. But you know, like I'm just saying, when it comes to electoral politics and when it comes to DeSantis, like, yeah, there are a lot of things that he has going for him on paper, but when it comes to the brass tacks of campaigning and winning a national election, I'm not as worried about him. I'm more
that's
worried.
A debate I can't wait to watch. You know what I mean? I can't wait to watch them all debate each other.
You know, and again, it comes down to wishing that Joe was several years younger. But I'm, you know, he keeps as long as he keeps delivering when he's supposed to deliver. I'm not worried about it just yet. I'm just worried about that stroke.
Bummer for Kamala. You know what I mean? Bummer that there's no confidence in Kamala. Like they're like
that's her own doing.
But I don't think she's a dumb person. Like I mean, listen, I feel like we're manipulated to concentrate on gaffes that have happened and misspokes, but they want you to hate her laughter. They want, you know, they
I agree.
Try to pitch you against her for the wrong reasons. But I mean, I've seen some speeches that she's done where I'm like, I mean, she's not a dumb person. Like, I just don't know. What is it? Is that we never see her in a skirt? I don't know. Like, it's.
I think there's an air of inauthenticity to her that I do.
She was
that
a cop.
Well, I mean, it's more of like, you know, like she's more calculated in ways, and it is unfair. We treat women, especially Black women, completely different. Hold them to a completely different standard. They have to be fucking perfect in order to not be criticized, and even then, they're viciously criticized. You know, but I just think like when it comes to it, she's never. You know, do you know what Kamala believes and stands in? I mean, and it's the sake of her, you know, being the vice president, that she believes whatever the president says. But like, even when she was running, it was like, why are you running? You know, like she never caught on for me. I was a fan of her as a senator. And I will vote for her if Joe dies on the trail. You know, I think when it comes down to it, like Biden is the nominee. And so I don't think we should think any other way on that. And we're just watching what insanity is going to happen. And this is the thing when it comes to Trump and the Republicans, you know, like Tucker Carlson's being like this country will be destroyed if Trump is indicted. Biden must stop this political indictment. And all of like Jim Jordan, like all of the Republicans, instead of using this opportunity to be like to move on from Trump, when they all want to, even Pence.
But you can't move on without being accountable. And that's the thing about conservatives, especially. They don't want to be held accountable for anything that they do. This
is an easy account. This is easy accountability. Take Trump off the table
now on his fucking press junket right now, fucking being like, "Oh, I'm proud of our record." I don't like. He was being interviewed, and he was like, "You were quoted to say that you could trust his word." His word is his bond. Do you still believe that? And he couldn't fucking answer that question. And it's like, because if he said, no, I think he's lied, then you have to be held accountable because you helped back up those lies. And that's the thing. It's all crafty talk now because they're all a part of that fucking insurrection. Even Mike Pence, to a point, even though his life was at stake and they were talking about hanging him. He played his role. That's why they have to stick to that lie, especially regarding the insurrection.
There was an article in the Atlantic called "Nobody Likes Mike Pence," and it was based on polling and focus groups. And literally, they had like however big their focus group was. Not a single person wanted Mike Pence, even though they were all like, he as a person is the person who's most aligned with who I am and what I believe.
Yeah.
But I would never vote for him for president.
But it's still homophobic. It's still racist.
Yeah, it's actually much more like he actually really believes that shit. You know, I don't think Trump gives a fuck. Trump wants abortion to be illegal. Trump doesn't give a fuck if you're gay. He doesn't. I don't think he does. He uses all of those things. Pence does. And they don't like him because they see him as like a nice guy, wishy-washy loser, you know? Yeah. And this goes back to what I'm saying. Like they would Trump is another poll just came out. DeSantis is at his lowest polling numbers. He hasn't even announced and whatever. He's not really campaigning yet, but Trump is far and away the front runner. The conservatives want
bully mentality. And that's the thing. Conservatives are going to be stuck with finding the next best Trump-like bully for probably a few more election cycles to come.
And the X factor that I just don't think anyone's talking about, if they need that person to be a rich television personality. Like the celebrity factor is very important when it comes to all of this, because that's what he had that these other dweebs don't. Is
that dumb bald one in the running, the dumbest bald one. The one who was in Threesome.
I don't remember. Stephen Baldwin. Yeah. He was in Biodome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you've been in a Pauly Shore movie, you could probably...
They're winning Oscars.
Win the White House. You know what I mean?
I mean, why not? Fuck, look. I mean...
Elect the whale. Vote for the whale.
But I truly think that like celebrity politicians... are more easy manipulated by establishment, and so that's why they're good for conservative people, because I mean
they just want the adulation. They'll do whatever the fuck.
That's it. They want 100%. The photo ops. They want to walk next to the queen. Well, she's good and dead now, and now you got to walk by that weird ass Charles that no one wants or likes anyway.
A little bit of a tangent, but did you see that Prince William is on the Ukrainian border with Poland meeting troops? And I just saw that and I was like, I bet Harry is starting to regret his choices, because like William is like, you know, like for all of the like they're bad. That's what.
But Harry was always the better soldier. Like why?
Yeah, I know, but no one's asking him to. No one's asking this California celebrity to come and do these things anymore. Like
he can't. He's not able to do it anymore. He can't work on behalf of the.
But that's what I mean. Like you know, he's not like, you know, he's raising his kids with his wife. I think it's.
Honestly, you know, I read his book. I don't know if I've mentioned this or whatever, but I feel like he is fine. He did not, ever since they killed his mom, he was never right with the whole situation.
Maybe.
And because he wasn't destined for the crown, they were especially mean to him because he didn't matter. So I think he's fine. I think, and look, William loves it because he needs it, because he's became the uglier one. You know what I mean?
Good. He was so cute when he was younger.
Speaking of ugly, it's getting ugly out there in the social media world.
What's happening?
We're going to lose TikTok. We could lose TikTok. Remember when Trump wanted to ban TikTok because all of the fucking Xennials were like fucking up his rallies and whatnot, and they were like, and conservative and liberals were like, we're not doing anything with TikTok. TikTok is great. Like, oh, it is really making Trump look like an asshole. Well, there has been a full 360, 180, whatever the number is, and it is bipartisan that politicians saying that TikTok should be banned because they don't want to be beholden to China.
I am interested in when the Chinese government will flip the switch to make the TikTok algorithm start hurting our country. Like, because now, I see, because I don't give a fuck, you know, but I also have, you know, let's be real. Social media was a major component of electing Donald Trump and ruining and really like creating this giant rift in this country. And currently TikTok is very political in a lot of ways, but it does seem to be more I don't know. I don't hear any of the same like TikTok is helping the Republicans win. I don't hear that. But I'm just like, as China and Russia align more against the West, and I'm just like what I was hearing. So TikTok is a Chinese company, and in China, it's a law, you know, because it's an authoritarian government where at any point, no questions asked, and without unbeknownst to anyone, they can just access all of the data of the company. So like at this point, the company has been like, no, of course, China, the government hasn't done that yet. You know, we have strict rules when it comes to international data, yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't, they can, whenever they want to use it for their benefit, they can use it. And I'm just, to me, it is a bit of a TikToking time bomb.
Well, I don't think TikTok is the only venue where they can access our data. Let's not act like our country's not beholden to China already. Let's not act like that's where we buy all of our fucking shit. That's where our cell phones are made. Like, the idea that China's not already in your fucking back pocket, in your business, is fucking silly. And here's the thing: TikTok is political if you want it to be. Like, I talk about TikTok with my good Judy Maxwell Esposito, and he tells me the kind of shit that he sees, and I'm like, oh no, we're on two different algorithms.
What's he getting?
Like, girl, housewives nonsense, and you know, like all the stupid stuff. And so the thing is if you're not political, like, it's not going to come up your way in fucking TikTok. I don't believe as much as it would, let's say, Facebook or fucking Instagram.
Right.
And let's not forget who's really behind this. Fucking Zuckerberg. His brain is melting. Meta has had to fire people. They've fucking gone down in their stocks. Like, people are realizing Facebook is for your racist granny and auntie, and that is fucking it. And their fucking redheaded stepchild, which they fucking neglected for so many years, Instagram, is boring as fuck. Like, it's fucking lame. And so Zuckerberg needs TikTok to go, because I learned more on that stupid app than I've ever learned on any social media. And I know more about my local community as well as my world community from that than I ever did on Facebook or Instagram. So that's the issue with the government. They don't want us knowing shit.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And it's also, you know, I mean, like, I would imagine.
Plus, I just got 700 followers. All right, I need to get to 1,000 so I can go live.
You heard it here, folks. Keep her out of TikTok.
If they cancel it before I get to 1,000, I'm gonna be livid.
Also, maybe we have like new listeners who think we're like a really popular podcast with two really popular hosts. Don't tell them how few followers you have on TikTok. It's bad for the brand. One, cancel it, TikTok. China, cancel it. But yeah, I don't know. The piece of technology that is more interesting and concerning to me is GPT-4.
I know you love it. You love it.
I don't love it. I'm terrified of it.
We were talking earlier because, you know, the climate's getting hotter and whatnot, and we're all going to die as a species. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about how that chat GPT is going to solve the problem of global warming.
No.
We already know the solution, just nobody wants to fucking do it. I mean, Biden made a big old fucking deal about getting back on that goddamn French climate bullshit. And now what's he want to do? He wants to dig in Alaska. We know what the problem is. We just don't want to fix it. So RIP humans and other poor species that can't defend themselves. But we're on our way out.
The UN was like, we have till 2030 to turn it around. Well, yeah. Good luck. TikTok. Yeah. TikTok on that.
Well, on that note, we have come to the end of the show.
Wow.
Casey, I never really know if you want to say something or if...
I always have things to say now.
All right. Now. Well, you have the floor.
On Friday, the 31st of March, I'll actually be headlining the Hollywood Improv Lab side room, 9:45 show start time. Come to that. Tickets on the Hollywood Improv website. And the 14th of April, I'll be at the Spoke Bicycle Shop Cafe for a show, a gay show full of queer performers. So come on down to that.
What kind of queer performers?
Your kind. The ones who doll themselves up and paint their face and shake their tits for money.
I've heard of it.
So that's what's out there for now. You can follow me on social media. Casey Ley on Instagram. Go to that, or TikTok. I have one, so I can connect with you. I don't follow Tony because I don't want to help her.
Wow, you're about to start a fight. Like, you have a TikTok?
I think I follow you. Don't worry about it.
I'm not. All right, I have 699 other people who just adore me on the fucking TikTok. They get to see you on my TikTok. I post clips from this fucking show too.
TikTok, don't stop.
Y'all, if you like the Gay Power Half Hour as much as Casey Ley and I do, then why don't you go to our iTunes page, subscribe to it, rate the show, leave a comment, tell a friend, tell a goddamn friend. It's 30 minutes. What are you doing? Jerking off? Well, do that too while you do it. I'd love that, actually. I am the Tony Soto Show on Instagram and TikTok for now. And we'll be back again next week with more faggotry, because that's what we do. Goodbye. Hold on. Don't say anything stellar.